Hello guys, how you all doing? Welcome back to Earl's Fishing Adventures. Yeah, so this is part 3 of rod building, and we've had a bit of an update since part 2. Actually, quite a lot has changed since part 2. Now if you bear with me, I'll set up everything and I'll give you the whole update and tell you what we're going to be doing today. Right guys, I've got most of this stuff set up. I'm just going to basically show you now my new rod whipping station, you could call it. Okay guys, I hope you can the picture's nice and clear for you. Right, so this is my new station that I built. I'm just out of just normal scrap wood. This is like pallet wood, I think. Same with this, it's just all pallet wood except these two pieces here, these two pieces here were off my friend's wardrobe that he didn't want, he scrapped in his garden. And I asked him if I could have it, and he said yeah, no problem. So I got two pieces identical. I actually can't remember how long they are. I think it's about a meter actually, to be honest. And then all I've got is I've made these L-shaped. I've got 3 of these. I've got 2 with the V's cut out like that, and then I've put like a bit of just a bit of material and hot glued it in there, so it's easy for the rod to turn on, and then also doesn't scratch the rod. And then here, in between these two, I've got a runner, and then in the runner I've got a bolt going right through, stopping on of course underneath, and then washer, and then just a little nut there that I can undo. And then what happens is when I undo it, this whole thing slides like so, alright, and then I put it in any position I want. So for example, if I put it all the way to the end and I put the rod, actually if I put it there, so now that'll twist easy, and then it won't get nothing will get in the way. So all I need to do now is just tighten this up, but I'll have to hold the nut at the bottom to tighten it up. And then for this bit, same principle as this one, bolt going all the way through, and I've got a little eye screw thingy there, and then on here the whipping will sit on the spool of whipping will sit on there like that, and then this wing nut is like a tensioner with a little spring, as you can see there. That'll tighten up onto the spool, the whipping spool, and then when I'm whipping this, it'll put a little bit of tension on. But then if I want it to hold it while I'm cutting or adding something else to the whipping, I can just tighten this wing nut up more tighter, and then I can let that hands free, and then I can do whatever I need to do, just in case if I need to leave the shed for anything. And the same thing for that one. But then in the future, not right now because I haven't finished it yet, I've got one with a motor on, and that motor there will turn the rod when it's drying. But as you can see, I haven't drilled the hole yet for it to fit on the end of here. Right, so that will fit on the end of there like that eventually. But this one will be stationary, so I might even put it underneath. I don't know yet. I haven't decided what I'm going to do, where I'm going to place it yet. But yeah, that's that's the new station. I'm hoping it's going to help me out a little bit more. And yeah, I'll stick you over to the other camera while I set this one back up in its tripod. So there guys, that's the new setup area. That's what I'm going to be starting whipping my rods on. And I don't know if you noticed in that video, you probably did. I have got the fly rod butt section already placed on the station, and I'm going to be whipping the butt section eye on. Yeah, the one single eye that's on the butt section, I'm whipping that one on. All right. It's already in position where it's supposed to be. As I say, I showed you in the 2 videos before how I prepare it ready to go. So it's ready. The only thing I haven't done on this one, I haven't put a bit of masking tape around it and marked little mark to say where I want it, because in this video I'm going to show you how I'm going to, you could say, measure it up. Alright, I'm going to mark it first where the eye sits, and then I'm going to mark it up with a pencil on how big the whipping I want. Alright, and I'm going to show you in this video on how I do that, or how I'm going to do that anyway. So yeah, let's get ready to go. Right guys, I've got you set up on the table, and I've got the camera pointing towards the butt section eye, and I've already marked one section. I'll show you now on the other camera. Alright, so as you can see, I've taped in one side of the eye, and then this mark here is where the foot finishes, right? So as you can imagine, this underneath this tape, all right? So that's the edge of the foot, like that. That's the edge there, all right? Now, on the original whipping, it was 5mm over, well, over the past the foot. So that's where the whipping would start, okay? So if I'm going to whip this, I'm going to have to start from that line and work my way over. But I can't start this line because this tape is holding the foot down, so I've got to start this section. So what I need to do, I need to mark where the whipping's going to start from here, okay? Now to do that is basically you mark there, and that there is what, like I said, 5mm. Right, from there to there is 5mm. So where that finishes, and then 5mm, which is there, and then I've already put a little mark there, but I haven't got the correct marking pencil for rod blanks, but you can just faintly see a line there. Hope you can see it. Well, I can see it. I've made a mark there, so that's where I'm going to be starting my whipping, okay? So now I'm going to set up the whipping and get started. Right guys, I've set up the camera now to start whipping. I've got it a bit of a more of a distance this time, just so that I can see what I'm doing. But I'm hoping and praying that you can see everything on the other camera, which is there, pointing down towards the eye. So let's get started, and I'm hoping and praying you can see everything. All right. So now I'll see I've got my whipping all hooked up, and now I need to put it in the little ring eye here. Bring it up. It's a bit too tight. Right, so right now because I need to start whipping here, I need to tape this section here. Tape this on here, like so, and then turn the rod and whip to the mark that you've marked up, like so. And then when you come to the point where they start to join up, you overlap, tidy up with a bit, and then you just whip over the tag end, this section that you've already wrapped on first. You wrap over that a couple of times, just so then it's got a good hold. And I think there is it has a good hold. So now, what I could do now is I could wind up the slack. So now look, I'm free. I'm hands free. Alright, I'm completely hands free now. Now this is where the benefit of having this set up comes in. I can tidy up the edges, right? Now I haven't got a proper tool to clean all these edges up, but I will eventually. But what you need to do now is undo the tape, like so, and then cut that off, and then just continue whipping the rest on until you get to the point about the best I've found out the best distance is about 5mm from where the arms come up of the eye. About 5mm off there you stop, and then that's when you add your loop in. So I'll see you when you get to that 5mm part. Right guys, I would call that 5mm, okay? And that I think that gap in between the last whip to the arms of the eye, that gap in there, I would say that is there is perfectly 5mm. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to the back of the eye on here. Now I'm going to add a loop into there. Okay. Now this is what you have to do. So I've just got a bit of this red whip in here from a cut off of that. So now what you need to do is you need to put the loop through so you're pulling the tag end through that way, okay? So you need to make your loop. Make sure your loop is pointing to the right. Put it in like so, and then because of this new tool that I've built, I don't have to hold it and whip it at the same time. And I can remember in part 2 I was struggling to hold it and whip it. So this tool I've made is a lifesaver right now, to be honest. So now I'm just going to basically keep whipping until I get to the end, and then when I get to that point I'll bring you back. So right guys, I've stopped there. Tell you what, I won't use a knife, I'll use a pencil. I've stopped right at as far as I think I could get, alright? Because if I go any further, inside these gaps here and here, the epoxy is not going to hold, it's just going to have a big hole, alright? So if I stop it there, that's a good mark, that's a good spot to leave it, alright? So now I'm going to keep turning it until I get to my loop, which is there, okay? Now, in part 2, when I was pulling my tag end all the way through, and then I was having the tag end come through it, and I've had to cut it there and stuff like that. But I found a trick online, so then I don't have to do that. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to cut my thread off, pinch it, put it through the loop, put tension back on it, start to pull it through, but do not pull it all the way through. Wait until it gets, wait until it bites it right there on the end, all right? And then once it's bited there, put tension on this line here, cut it there, and then pull through. And then there's nothing there. There's maybe a tiny piece of fuzz, but all you need to do there is just get a lighter and burn the fuzz off, and that's absolutely fine. Now what you need to do is get a Berman tool if you've got one. I think they're called a Berman tool, but I'm just going to use a ruler because it's flat and plastic, and it's quite hard as well, just like a Berman tool. So what you do, push up against the whippings like that, and then turn the rod. We're pushing up against the whippings, alright? That makes it go nice and tight on the edges, and then do the same on that side, at the beginning. And then once you've done that, just gently go around and fill in all the gaps, and as you can see, absolutely perfect. For me, that's perfect. That's the best whipping I've ever done. Now I can undo this. Now I can mark my 5mm, okay? So line up the end of the end of the foot of the eye, sorry. Mark 5mm, which is there. Right, I can just faintly see that line, but on camera you're probably not going to be able to see it. Let me have a look. No, you're definitely not going to be able to see it. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to put the camera over this side and point it down this side, okay? Right guys, I've noticed when I've moved the camera over to this side, as you can see, it's focusing on the background outside, alright? So if I lose focus, then I'm very, very sorry. But I'm going to try my best. I see it's already lost focus now, look. Tell you what, I'm not going to do that side. You've seen me do that side, so well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring the camera back over to this side and do it again on this side. Just in case, you know, I'm hoping that this angle is good, but for some reason I'm not losing focus on this side, but when I pointed to that side, I'm losing focus. So let's get cracking, but we'll leave it on this side, alright? Okay, so now to start whipping this side, we need to put some tape on there to hold the tag end there from your whipping, and then we're gonna turn the rod and start overlapping all of this. Not on the foot, Earl. And then go to the mark that you marked up earlier, which I'm bang on it, 5mm there. Oh, sorry about the flick there. And then I'm gonna turn and overlap it there. Do a few turns. Just so then you can grip it. And I would say that's enough. I would say about 3 or 4 turns, 4 or 5 minutes, well, not 4 or 5 turns. Yeah, so about 4 or 5 turns, that will grip the tag end, so then you can undo the tape, unravel it, like so, and then you can cut that, and then you can continue whipping the rest on. Right guys, I would say that there's 5mm, and I've noticed I've got quite a lot of gaps, so I'm just gonna tighten up all these gaps. Okay, now that I've tidied up the best I can for now, and I'm 5mm away from the bottom of the foot, I'm gonna add my loop, which is here, my old one, and then now because I'm whipping this side on, I need to put the loop facing this way to the left. Okay, so oh, I forgot, always turn the rod so then the eye is facing down when you put your loop in, so then you can put it on the back of the blank. Just move over a bit, there we are, and then continue whipping again until you get to the end of the foot. Alright, so now I just need to put the tag end through that loop. And if it's all fuzzy on the end of the tag end and it's going to be, you're going to struggle getting it through the loop, just wet it a little bit so then it will get rid of the fuzz. Tag end through, like so. And then when you get to this point, try and watch a bit carefully here, pull it through. Alright, there's the tag in there. Pull it through until it bites just there. Alright, so now I can let go and it's not going to unravel. Now to get the best look without any fuzz, cut that tag end right there. Alright, so now when you pull this through, it's hidden underneath these wraps here. Alright, so now you can go around with your tool and clean up all these wraps. I wish I had the proper permanent tool. And that's it guys. Both whips are done. And there you go. Right, so there you go. Both whips are done. So that one came out just a little bit, but that little bit of fuzz there, so as you can see a little bump there, that will burn away with the lighter. But for the other one, there you are. You can see the tag end going underneath, but you can't see nothing coming out the whipping, can you? So there you go. If you think you can see these bumps through the epoxy, apparently once you've epoxied it, them bumps will basically disappear. Okay, so don't try not to worry about them. But there you go guys. That's how I whip my eyes on. You've just seen me whip on the final eye on the butt section of the fly rod. So now the fly rod is ready for epoxying, which I'm not looking forward to be honest, because I don't have a clue. So I'm going to do a lot of research, as much research as I possibly can, so then I can start epoxying the rod and bring out part 4, and that will be the rod complete. And this part series complete. Okay. I also want to say this little setup area that I showed you earlier. I'm absolutely over the moon that I'm done that, because it's a lot easier. I'm telling that if you're coming up the rod building, if you want to try it yourself, this is very awesome. Like, this is awesome. You need to try it. It's especially holding tension all the time when you're whipping, so then you can hands free, so you don't have to worry about it uncoiling. It's so much easier. But I'm just rambling a bit now, guys. Before I go, remember when well, some of you may remember that I built my leader icon M Sport Power, because one day I went on the pier, flew off the stand and smashed every single eye, alright? And I had to rebuild the rod myself. I did it on Gone Fishing when I used to have Gone Fishing, that channel, but I want to rebuild that again, alright? It's definitely a big project, and the question is, guys, do you want me to do it on camera? If you don't worry about it. Just put it in the comments saying no, don't do it, it's boring. Or if you want me to do it, stick in the comments and yes, we're intrigued. We want to see the rebuild of the leader icon M Sport Power. And that's it, guys. That's all I've got for you for today, until part 4. Alright, so if you want to see the leader icon getting rebuilt, let me know in the comments. Oh, give me some colour suggestions as well. So I'm thinking about metallic. Alright, I'm thinking about putting some metallic in there somewhere. Alright, you know the weapons where they put like a little strip of metallic and then they're whipping. I'm thinking about doing that. Alright, but give me some suggestions on colours. Alright, so yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time in part 4. But I might do a video in between. Alright, I might do a couple of rigs for you. So yeah, if you want any rig suggestions, put it down in the comments, and I'll show you how I make that rig.